Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Untitled Advice. I've tried making this a mini series before, but I just thought I would make a big podcast out of it and just talk about so much. I'm constantly having mostly at nighttime is when all my thoughts come to me. And last night I was having a hard night. So I was like, I need to just get this off my chest. And I was going to record this last night, but literally everything was dead and nothing was just going right. So I was spiraling. So I wrote some notes down on some things I wanted to talk about because last night I was struggling a lot with trying to find forgiveness and trying to find peace. I don't know. For such a big part of my life, I've been constantly trying to find peace, whether that's through people or relationships or activities. I don't know, just trying to find some sort of calm, I guess. For so much of my life, I feel like I was constantly making mistakes, whether that was like a whole bunch of things, whether it was with people, like dating or friendships, or I don't know, just doing something that maybe doesn't feel right. I know something I think about all the time that I always feel bad for is back whenever I was younger, I was like not the nicest person in the world. And I was quite frankly a bully to some people. And it's truly one of my biggest regrets that I have because I just think there's so much negativity in the world, and just knowing that I may have had a factor in being why someone, knowing maybe would have made someone's life harder is rough. And so I think about that a lot at nighttime and during the day. Just constantly, I'm just thinking about how maybe if I was nicer, that like maybe I could have helped someone. I don't know. It's really hard for me to speak. Like, I'm not that good at speaking. This would have been a lot better last night whenever I was like really, I don't want to say emotional, but just in my feels. But I think with growth and as time has went on that I've recognized all these mistakes, because if this was me like I'm gonna say like 4 years ago, I wouldn't have cared. I've been like, whatever, F those people, yada yada yada. But as I got older and I kind of discovered more about myself and how much I don't want to be such a negative person. I don't want to cause harm to others, which I don't think anyone really intends to do. If you're just, I don't know. But for such a big part of my life, I was always afraid of failing and letting other people down. So whenever I was like mean all the time, I was with a group of friends who that's how they had fun, was being mean. And I guess I just didn't want to think let people think I was lame. Or for this goes outside of this. This is There's a lot for me to unpack and for a lot for me to think about. This podcast went better in my head on speaking, but I'm not drawing blanks, so I just want to get all my thoughts straight. I think it's been healthy though for me recently to understand all of my mistakes I've made in life, especially with, again, harm I've done in relationships to people's mental health, and to whenever I was in relationships, I was truly such an I made a lot of big mistakes. I don't want to say I was an awful person because that's a little too harsh to say. Um, but I definitely caused a lot of negative emotions with other people towards me, which I have talked to those people since, and I have tried to ask for forgiveness, and all has went well, but it's something that I really haven't been able to move past. And it's something that we're working on because, again, like I said before, like I really want to be a good person. I really am trying to find peace in life. I recently looked into my astrology chart. It's really been trying to like figure all that out. I don't really know much about astrology. I used to all the time. Anyways, side note. it pretty much says the purposes of my life is to find stability, which completely makes sense because so much of my life has been unstable, whether that was childhood of like constantly moving, having very toxic family members, and now finally being away, I still kind of feel unstable, whether that's mental health or home life, of like not having like a full place that I can call like home in a sense, which again, life is a lot better than what it has been since leaving Kentucky. But for some reason, like I just haven't been able to feel happy with that, which is very bad on my part because there's so much negativity happening around the world. There's so much, people are dying, and here I am complaining. I'm like, oh, like I don't feel stable enough. Like priorities, and it's more things that I feel guilty of. And I just don't know how to move past that, or I don't know. I don't. In my list here, my next thing I have written down is facing embarrassment because, Lord, let me give you an example. So I had to go up on stage for an award show, and I gave a speech in front of everyone, and I literally almost passed out because I was literally like so like stressed over it, and I guess there was just so much fear of just like embarrassing myself in front of everyone, like if I messed up, because again, I am not good at public speaking, whatever, and even me just doing this right now, I am struggling. So I'm also doing this podcast to help me speak better, I guess. I don't know. But facing embarrassment, I am constantly feeling embarrassed with. I'm constantly feeling embarrassed of what maybe someone will see me from afar, like I'm doing something, and I will like panic. For so much of my life, I would not eat in public. Like I wouldn't even eat in school because didn't want people to be like, oh, he's big, and like I got embarrassed over that, which again was far from it, like literally like underweight. And I just don't know why I constantly feel embarrassed over something, or like making like I guess a fool of myself. So whenever I went up on stage, I had to like keep telling myself like, if you mess up will be more embarrassing than if you do well. And I literally just kept telling myself that over and over again. And it kind of helped a little bit, but I did mess up. Whenever I announced someone's award, I didn't like read all the names of all the people on the list. I didn't even read any of the names. I just read the title of what won, and that kind of like messed everyone up a little bit. And so again, that has also kept me up at night. It's just like everyone's like, oh my god, he messed up, and like, oh, these are so non-issues, but they're just things that like affect me before I can go to bed. Like, it's so stupid. It's truly so stupid, and we're working on it. We are working on it. But I think it's okay to, I guess, acknowledge all these issues for my mental health, so I don't get like put on crazy medications like I used to at one point. I didn't get put on that many, but enough. But also speaking on anxiety a lot of my mental health has gotten better. I remember I used to have such bad social anxiety. And whenever I got my first ever job working as a barista, actually helped me so much with my social anxiety, because I couldn't even go to a store by myself to go shopping. Like I had to have someone with me at all times. And so for me to like get a job where I had to like face people head on literally helped my social anxiety so much. So if you are someone who struggles with social anxiety, truly a job, like that sounds so like get a job, but like truly like something small and little like that went a long way, and I love that job and I miss it. So get a job if you struggle with social anxiety, and you really just have to truly fight through it. And in the long run, once you get like used to doing it, I don't know, things got better for me, and so I can kind of hold conversation a lot better, except for whenever I'm doing this right now, talking to myself. Well, and you all, but there's no response. So okay, sorry, so my camera did stop recording, so if we're at a different angle, that's why. But my next one is learning to love yourself a lot more. and not being hard on yourself, because so much of my life has been focused on how I look and how other people perceive me. Whether that was because even now, whenever I like look in the mirror, sometimes ever since I was younger, I was always like, oh my god, I need a rhinoplasty. I need to get all this work done, which is just so hard. Again, on the mental and like trying to find stability for myself. There's a lot of aspects to that. I guess a lot of times finding stability is within yourself. That's not just where I'm at in life. I think a lot of stability is within the mind, and I think that's what my purpose is. And I need to understand that better. I've been online for a very long time, and ever since I was like 13, and then I got like kind of a following at like 16. And from that was a lot of pressure, considering my audience was a bunch of older men, and they were always constantly critiquing everything I was doing, how I looked, the way I moved, the way I talked, what I wore. And so you really grow to like not like yourself, because you're always trying to make everyone happy, which you just can't do. And even now, because I do work in adult entertainment, it can be hard sometimes having so many opinions on you, but we're getting to a place where I just like don't care as much, because I'm my own person and I can't let other people have that much control over me, because we're all living our own life, and who am I to listen to who Bob has to say and from Nebraska? Like I just, no, I don't get that. So we're also learning how to love ourselves more. And so whenever I look in the mirror, I'm like constantly, like, even right now, I think I look so crazy and so like, and I want to just hide. But and this camera doesn't help, because this camera does bring out like all like I just look so tired and just so dead. But we're trying to get over that and overcome that. I don't know. There's a lot of insecurity, especially with being in adult entertainment. People think you just have this confidence because you just go up on camera full bald eagle in pretzel position, and everyone's like, wow, you have to have like a certain amount of confidence for that. But a lot of people that I know who do this line of work are all very insecure, like whether you believe it or not. Like it can be mentally taxing, if that's the right term to put it, which I'm very grateful for having this opportunity and having a lot of support from people. There's still so much to learn, and I really don't know in this podcast if I am making any sense whatever. I'm really just rambling, and I know I'm maybe not hitting any points or facts or anything, but I hope you are still listening at this point, and I hope it's making some sort of sense, because I still haven't found no sense to it. I haven't. This life is all about growing and expanding and finding love within ourselves and just finding peace. And we haven't found it yet, but hopefully as I continue to do this podcast, hopefully I do it. I'm hoping I have the energy, which is just pure laziness. I need to get back to it. But I truly hope to have growth over, like, let's say I've been at this for a year. Hopefully every week I post an episode for a year. Hopefully in a year's time, I'm like, that guy a year ago was completely sad. And hopefully we're in a better position. So everyone, remember to be kind to yourself. There's so much negativity happening in this world. There's so much evil right now. Have some kindness in this world. Make sure to be kind to yourself and to others, as cliche and tacky that is to say. It truly can get you really far. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this first little episode of Untitled Advice. I love you all so much, and stay tuned for next week, because hopefully I will have it a lot more planned out than this one. So be good, everyone. I love you all literally so, so much. And just know someone out there does love you. So be good. Be safe. Thank you all for listening.